So that means that there are 14% who do, but the overwhelming percentage of people who don't smoke is far greater than those who do. And so one of the things in the county, your neighbors in Ocean Township and down in Manahawk and Stafford, they have ordinances in place, as do there are 19 municipalities that do have an ordinance in place. And when a town does pass an ordinance, we do provide free signage that's provided through a grant, and then you put your ordinance numbers on here, and we can provide that to everyone. So I do want to add something not relating to smoking though. Tomorrow is the Surviving the Cancer Challenge, which is being held at the Clarion Hotel in Toms River from 5:30 to 8 p.m. We have 160 cancer survivors coming tomorrow. So we're inviting, if anyone wants to attend, they can call 732-557-2626, sorry.
26.
Correct,
Okay.
yeah. So if anyone wants to attend, I mean, I saw your pink signs, I said how appropriate. So I'm offering that to everyone too.
I'd just like to, Madam Mayor, if I may, on the smoking situation, if you do come to my concerts at night, I mention every single concert, there is no smoking in this area. If you want to smoke, you have to go all the way to the dumpsters. That is at every single concert on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights. So
I
that
don't
is
usually
mentioned.
go, but I also was afraid to, because there's no sign that says no smoking, so I can't be anywhere near smoking.
Yeah, well, I will discuss that, and we will put some signs up there, because everyone knows they can't smoke on the dock, or there's no pets allowed. That was another problem.
But I
We had
include the
people with
beach
the
and
dogs
parks
right in
on
the
the back,
middle of the
and
concert.
parks.
But that's a very good concern. I do face it every single concert. They're told at the beginning, right after the Pledge of Allegiance, there's no smoking in the area. If you want to smoke, you go back to the dumpsters, and it's enforced. So believe me, it's enforced.
Thank you, Committeeman Morano. I believe you meant to say the township.
They don't like concerts.
They're pretty expensive. I don't think I can put the bill for them. I want to thank you. I'll step in and say this, not to cut into your time, and I'll compensate you for it. But I would like to have that information available. If you can forward it to me or leave it to me, or however you want to do that, where I'm not taking your personal items, because I would like to have an opportunity to present it to the committee for consideration. Okay?
And there are sample ordinances.
Do you have
that-
paperwork?
I do, and I wrote all over it.
Do you happen to have electronic copies you can forward to me via email?
Yes, I do.
You can find my email on.
Yes.
Okay.
I will do that. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Dr. Sir?
Good evening. I'm Barry Durham, 5 Spruce Court, representing the Barnegat Township Environmental Commission tonight. You had a resolution earlier that's going to be voted on later regarding the funding for the beach project. And the Environmental Commission, just this last Thursday night, had available to it the engineer's report from Adams, Riemann, and Hagan. I believe you're probably familiar with that at this point. The report went through a lot of detail. This was a CAFRA submittal that was done for the project. And our concern as the Environmental Commission, for those here, the project's approximately 480 linear feet of bulkhead and boardwalk. And our concern as a commission in reviewing the report, and a letter was submitted to the committee today, so it should have been in your mailboxes. I realize it's short notice. What we want to know is, in many places in there it states that we're going to put in this boardwalk and this bulkhead to hopefully help mitigate some future storm impacts to the beach. But nowhere in there do I see, or did the committee see, any reference to an engineer's report that had been developed to give us some type of background as to, okay, what is possible to do, what is not possible to do, what will this type of mitigative effort do to substantiate the beach from future erosion, no detail as to frequency of storm, magnitude of storm that's being planned. Those are the types of things that we think are important before the township commits funds to do so. Because, I mean, there was some indication in the report as well that what's down there now, it's unaesthetic. I think we would all agree with that. Putting in a bulkhead and a boardwalk is definitely more aesthetically pleasing, but we would hate to see funds being spent to put in such an improvement, but to have it washed away with a storm that may occur fairly frequently, you know, should that occur. And then finally, I mean, if that report is available, if there's an engineer's report that backs that up, we would greatly appreciate seeing it. Should there not be such a coastal engineering report, we would encourage the township to produce one or have a group look at that so that we know that the funds being spent are being spent wisely. And lastly, it's been mentioned in the CAFR application that the anticipated expenditure for the boardwalk and the bulkhead is about $125,000. Just my layman's and the committee's layman's look at this, that's probably a significant underestimate of what it will take. And I realize you're gonna go out for bids. Before you get formal bids, maybe it'd be a good idea to get some budgetary estimates from several contractors, give you an idea of really what this is gonna cost before you go out and spend the money in the process for formal bidding and so forth, give you a good indication. So if you have any questions, we're available to help and answer any questions you may have. Thanks.
Thank you.
Right there, waving me down.
I'm Dave Moore. I'm also on the Environmental Commission, and I really appreciate Barry spending the time. If you read that letter, that you'd be hard put to pay to get a letter as good no matter what you paid for. Barry is very, very accurate in his assessment, and he brings a lot of experience and judgment to this process. What I wanted to add was that I think you really do need to get a coastal erosion guy involved. I didn't really see a lot of that in the report. I would suggest you talk to Stu Farrell. That's Farrell. He's emeritus professor at Stockton. He's the guy that you read about when there's beach erosion. Stu, I believe you can Google him. You need to get some guy in here that can tell you whether that is actually going to work, whether you're going to end up with a bigger beach or you're going to end up with a fishing pier, because a lot of times the waves actually bounce against the bulkhead and they undercut the sand in front of them. I was down there this morning, and you can walk from the Jersey barrier to the tide line, and at some places it's only 12 feet. So you have some issues there,
Yeah,
right? There, and you can also talk to Paul Kennedy at Beechwood. They put in a system that what it does is it makes the sand, it helps it to accrete rather than retreat. There's really some things that I think we need to do here before we start putting in bulkheading. You know, I understand the appearance, but I think it's an important thing to do. And
Well, you have the benefit of two of the township engineers members here. One's in the audience and one's up here, so they hear you.
okay, all right, Stu Farrell. Okay.
Thank you.
And also, I just want to say, again, about all the volunteers, the people out here in this audience that I know maybe sometimes they can be a little bit abrasive. I mean, I try not to be, but I do. But we have people here that really give a lot to this town. And I know you all know it, but I just want to say that I really appreciate all their help, and I'm sure that we all do as well. Thank you. Thank you.
I don't know if I've ever seen you abrasive, by the way, so just will leave it at
Anybody
that.
need to be there. That's probably what I need.
I will not come up. Sir? Yes, sir.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. Victor Ramo, 384 Old Cedar Bridge Road, forgotten section of town, known as the Point. I'm directing my comments to you, Mr. Administrator, because you seem to be so proud of the fact that you advised the trailer parks of what was happening, but yet the homeowners who pay pretty healthy taxes in the 5 figures had zero information. We had no information as to whether there was fire service or what the protocols were, anything. This is again emblematic of the total lack of anything we get from this township. Recycling, spotty. Waste pickup, maybe. Snow removal, never. I mean, at a certain point in time, someone has to be responsible for advising us and keeping us in the loop. You mentioned the road conditions by the trailer parks. Come down a half a mile. There are ditches you could lose a tractor trailer in that came from some kind of construction project that was never finished. I mean, we are really the forgotten part of town. And this really hits a sore spot because now, from what you said, no one really cares about us, and we don't know, if we're going to have any decent fire protection.
Let's stop right there.
No, let's
No,
not
let's
stop right there. I've been here 20 years, and I've gotten zero. In fact,
For you
one
to
of the
say-
members who served as mayor didn't even know that there were houses there.
For
So
you to
you
say-
stop right there.
No, for you to say you don't have fire protection, that's either misinformed or misleading.
We didn't know.
You have
No
fire
one
protection.
bothered-
Nothing
no
has
one
changed.
bothered
Pick up the
sending-
phone, and you will have a response. That's always been the case.
Well, why didn't you send a notice to everybody else so we could have been at the
Misguided
meeting?
individual put information out there that there was no fire response out west of the Parkway. That's not true. Nothing has changed. You pick up the phone, call 911, and you will get a response. Nothing has changed.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that
What are you saying?
what I'm saying is that when the companies merged, no one knew what was going on. You had the time to go to the parks and have a meeting, and yet, as this lady pointed out, the homeowners were completely left in the dark. We would like to know what's going on. It's just a matter of include us in the big picture. And we're always excluded. It took years before the police even knew where my house was. 20 years ago, it took them 45 minutes to get here when I had hunters on my property.
How about today?
How about today? They know me by now because I'm a big mouth. And things have improved since then. Thankfully. And I, certainly admit it, 20 years ago, when I called for police, they didn't think I was in town. I said, well, I just paid my tax bill. Maybe I paid the wrong municipality. I think we have to be inclusive in this. And this has been an ongoing problem.
Sounds to me that things have improved. It sounds to me that things have improved over the past 20 years. If we miss trash or recycling, let us know. The contractor is responsible for going out there and picking up. So,
But that's just part of the issue.
okay, and
But
snowplow's
the
an
big issue is that we need to feel safe in our homes.
And you
And
should-
what's happened now gives us uncertainty. And we don't want the uncertainty, regardless of the outcome. And without throwing barbs or arrows at anybody, you just left us with a lot of uncertainty at the time this occurred.
There's no uncertainty. You are protected from a
Well-
law enforcement perspective, EMS, or fire. Nothing has changed. You pick up the phone, dial 911, a response will be there at your house. Period, end of story.
25 minutes.
And anybody who's saying a half hour is misleading the public tonight. April 27th, Barnegat Fire was there well before a half hour. Please stop saying that. That's not true.
An hour for I'll give you a 2 minute hour right now. I'll
My
give you a 2
former
minute start.
neighbor's wife passed, presumably because the ambulance couldn't find the house. So, well, I'm not an expert, and
Okay.
okay, but.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Jake?
Jake Taylor, 106 North Road, on a lighter tone.
Jake, we're glad to see you.
I'd just like to comment on the beach project, which I haven't seen anything on or something. But I was involved, I've been down there for like 40-some years, when that was all beach down there. Where them homes are at, used to be beach. And we had this talk to some professional at the time about the shoaling of the inlet by the Crystal Peninsula. And this professional told us that the reason that we have this change is on account of bulkheads. He says the natural slope of the land kept the land open, but with all the bulkheads being built, it created the problem. So I just hope that, there has to be something done down there, I agree there, that we look into it more than twice. I mean, get some real good professional help that has to deal with the bulkheads and the slope of the land, because if you put something in there and make it worse, which happened on some of the land, that was the old Indian Creek Reservation there, where them houses are on the point, and that was all beach. When it was all beach for 100 and some 50 years, nothing happened there. The land stayed there through all storms. The beach was there. The bulkheads created the problem that we have. That's what this guy told us. So I hope we really look into it. I don't know how the professional help's going to come out with it, but we should spend the time and effort to do it right. I don't want to see it done and then be worse. That's all on it. And I haven't seen nothing on it, so you might be on the right track already. I know it's in capable hands with our township engineer. But I see the other agenda on here, 290, I think 293. If I recall, some people from Pinelands were here complaining about broken sewer pipes and different problems they had there in that development, in the trailer park here, or mobile home park, excuse me. But I don't know if them issues are resolved or not, but it seemed like a good time, if them issues are not resolved, to deny that license to that park owner. Because I would say 3 or 4 times people came to this DS here and asked for help in getting the owners of the park to solve their problems. And they came back time and time again, so that led me to believe that these problems were not solved. So when you're going to renew this license, I would have them problems looked into before you renew the license. Thank you.
Thank you.
Frank Petchy, 11 Hemlock. I'll switch gears a little bit. The town designation, and I know Al Billy talked about before, the planning board, the members, 3 of us, including me, which is 4, worked several years to get that designation through. Happy it's through, and I'd also like the township to consider not changing zones that, we work so hard to put together. Are we on some kind of schedule as far as tax liens and selling property in town? No, and I mean that was positive.
We already did the tax.
48 today, and last meeting there was 40 some.
The reason why you have so many premiums is because we already had the tax sale.
Yes, I understand.
Yes.
But where are you allocating that money then? I see where you're taking money from one department and put it in water sewer.
Now, the money with regards to property taxes or tax liens is regulated by the state. It has to go back into delinquent taxes also.
It doesn't say that here, Dave. It says water,
Oh, if it's water and sewer, then it goes back to water and sewer.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I say.
So
From
if
one
you-
department to water and sewer, from the tax department to water and
I
sewer.
want to make it clear, we sell 2 different types of liens. One for if you don't pay your property
Right.
taxes, the second one if you don't pay your water and sewer.
Okay. So we're catching up on all this now, is that what it is?
We're consistent with state law. We have
Okay,
our
no, I'm
same
talking
policy.
about all this backlog of selling property, et cetera. Okay. Resolution 2090. I'm sorry. 2089. The production of brine, I know what brine is, it's a sodium chloride solution. Who has this equipment to do that?
Stafford Township.
They have it. So what part do we take in that?
Stafford Township delivers the brine to Barnegat Township.
Okay.
And place that into a 5,000-gallon tank. Then we take the liquid
For the
in
water,
5,000.
for the snow, okay. I know, I was just wondering where this equipment was. And the last thing is what you were talking about before. And I guess there's a article you must have seen. Now rules available in housing, plan. And if I know, and I know correctly according to what they say in the paper, and I talked to my friends down there, they talked about even Corzine, when I was in government. Corzine wanted 100,000 affordable homes in 10 years. This mirrors it, except they go 10,000 more. My question is, then you have 21 counties, and if I divide that 100,000, you're talking 4,600 per county. And then how many towns in the county? Like Bergen County has 72 towns in it. what in the world, okay, all of a sudden we get a designation, which you mentioned before. What is Barnegat now? Is it a target that we're gonna be able, you know, to house all of these apartments?
I asked the
all of
very
these?
same question.
This is kind of a little wild now.
Yeah.
If you take a look at the new affordable housing rules,
I have them here too.
if you take a look at the municipalities or towns that are in the regional growth zones,
Yes, I know we are.
they see the burden, affordable housing burden on them seems to be higher.
But
Casual
you
observation.
have the Newarks, the Jerseys, all of those tenements, and that's affordable. They can do it in Elizabeth, Union. What in the world is happening?
There's a huge difference between existing affordable housing
And
new
building.
affordable
Okay.
housing. That's the difference.
Well, you know, with what we're going to do, and I have no problem with the apartments, contrary to what we're saying, I said before, my problem is to make sure, because the rules change. They apply for one thing and all of a sudden open it up, and it is not simply senior anymore. They can do that in the plan. So
No, didn't that,
I
excuse me,
wanna-
didn't that law pass fine? No.
It's sunset.
They can't.
That's sunset.
Yeah.
That's all sunset.
All right. Well, I want to make sure that we're not in any kind of trap. And the last thing is, again, I see about water and sewer, the pumps, and the SCADA system and all. We have been doing a major job, our guys, keeping the system viable for the public. The big problem I have is that someone is getting paid every time the planning board or another board approves a project. They have to pay a developer in town for the use of money. Now, we're talking about Route 9. Route 9 has been there forever. Why would we pay a developer who owes us, by the way, $1 million tank? Why would we do that? I think you guys got to take a good look at that. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Beck?
Bobby Ruffalo, 323 South Main Street, also president of Barnegat First Aid. Just wanted to invite everybody here to, I'm going to just turn to everybody. Want to invite everybody out to check out our pink ambulance. Barnegat First Aid took a proactive approach to, Barnegat First Aid took a proactive approach in 2014 to awareness for all different types of ailments and problems out there. One thing would be obviously breast cancer. We're supporting breast cancer now through the month of October. We took one of our ambulances and turned it pink. We also have attended many events for Meridian, along with the committee knows, and anytime anybody wants to see the ambulance, they're more than welcome to stop down at Barnegat First Aid and check it out. Also, what we're doing the fourth Saturday of every month down at Barnegat First Aid, 6 Birdsall Street, free blood pressure screenings, free coffee as well. Yeah, that's in conjunction with Barnegat First Aid and Barnegat Township. Everybody and anybody's welcome, any resident in any part of town. And I invite you again afterwards to come check out the pink ambulance. Thank you.
Timothy Blinsky, 101 Basswood Drive. Dave, I gotta ask you the same question I asked you at the meeting with Palmer Estates. When our representatives met with you in February, and you told them that the closing of our firehouse was nothing but a rumor, did you lie to our representatives? Did you know, or did you not know?
My discussions with the township committee are privileged and confidential when it comes to public safety matters.
That wasn't a discussion with the township committee, sir. That was a discussion with our representatives.
However, at the meeting, I was assured that command and control was well under control out there. And when the township frankly learned of the incident on 539 with the extraction, and that there were minors on the apparatus that responded to that incident, that gave us grave concern. And that's when we started to seriously look at the consolidation of the two departments. Again, we have justified, we have provided rationale for this consolidation from both a financial, operational, and public safety perspective. When the township can achieve significant cost savings and enhance public safety, that is a win-win for everybody in the township. We feel confident, comfortable that the right decision was made, and we hold Barnegat Fire in high regards, despite what certain individuals are trying to say out there with with regards to response time. Any Pinewood Estates firefighter is welcome to apply for membership in Barnegat Fire.
So, hold on 1 second, hold on. So, after I was at the meet, you guys had your township meeting in April, and we came to our firehouse, and the public works employees came and put padlocks on our firehouse, and we were told by Barnegat Police that if we did not leave the property, we were going to be arrested. Now, after all of that, you would like me to come and join Barnegat Fire Company after I was told, I was locked out of my firehouse, told I was no longer a volunteer fireman in the township of Barnegat. You want me to come and put an application in at another fire company in this township?
Don't do it.
Then don't. That's the answer.
That's a real good way to look at it.
No,
Just then don't. I want to volunteer my time. And I wanted to. And I did for the last 10 years. And yes, I started as a minor in that fire company. There is a junior program. You can join at the age of 14 years old. There's nothing that says they cannot get on a fire truck. So, at that statement of, yes, did we have a minor there? We did. That's allowed. So what is your answer to that? Because you tell people that we had a minor there and that's not allowed. It is allowed.
It's township equipment. The township paid for it. We protected our asset. I offer no apology for that.
Wow.
We protected
That's
our assets.
So you're not going to apologize to me for locking me out of a firehouse when I wanted to volunteer my time at?
I'm not going to apologize for protecting township assets.
What township assets were there to protect? What about the members who had equipment of their own personal locked in that fire company and could not get?
And still don't have access?
For 2 hours, from 4 to 6. I do marine construction for a living. I go to work from the time the sun comes up to the time the sun goes down. How am I going to get there from 4 to 6?
Did you bring this matter to the attention of Barnegat Fire, who would permit you access to this?
You want me to talk to them? Really?
Answer the question. Thank you.
Don't do it.
They are Barnegat Fire.
And I was a fireman in Barnegat Township.
Exactly. He is
You
Barnegat Fire.
told me
Ma'am, I'm
no
sorry,
longer.
you're not at the podium, so you need, this has been going on all night. Raise your hand and come to the podium, and when I call you.
TJ, where are your certificates?
And yes, my certificates are still locked in that firehouse. I can't get access to them. All of our members have all of their certificates that are their own, cannot get that.
We provided access for individuals to retrieve their personal items. Speak to Scott, and he will get you access to retrieve anything else you may have left behind. Okay?
Wow.
Thank you.
What a way to be treated,
Welcome. Sir?
TJ, go in the Navy, just go. What a way to be treated, guys.
John Belinsky, 101 Basswood Drive. First of all, I got a couple questions. I'm a little confused how we're going to save $1 million by closing down that firehouse. Can you tell me how?
If the consolidation did not take place, we would be in a position to purchase 2 pumper apparatus for both Barnegat and Pinewood. With consolidation, Barnegat Fire can use the new pumper apparatus throughout the entire town. Thus, at this point in time, for 2014, there was no need to purchase not 1, not 2, no pumper apparatus.
Well, I don't understand that, because if you needed to purchase 2,
You had 2
and
separate.
you're saying that you're still staffing that firehouse, so then what you're doing is you're putting all of these guys in danger with equipment that's no good, that we had to replace.
Township takes its public safety very seriously. We have both legal and moral obligations.
I got all that crap.
No. Barnegat Fire has adequate, proper, safe equipment to perform their.
I know they do. I'm sure they do. But you said you were going to have to buy 2 fire trucks. So now you're not going to.
That's correct.
So by closing that firehouse, why didn't you just say to them, we're not buying you a new truck?
We would have raised the money.
There's
Why couldn't you say that?
Because there were other items they needed to, and again, as a result of the consolidation, we saved money.
How?
Instead of outfitting 100 firefighters, we're outfitting 80 or 85 firefighters.
Okay, so you invited all these guys to join Barnegat Fire Company.
Those that were out
So
there.
now, okay, so what would happen to the equipment you would have had to buy for them?
There's decent equipment in Pinewood that we can use.
Well, you just said you were gonna have to buy for 100 firefighters. You don't have to buy for 100, because they have their stuff. So how'd you save any money?
We saved money.
Good answer, Dave. Oh my God. My other question is, who's paying all the utilities on that building?
They wanted the land, John.
Barnegat Fire.
Barnegat Fire, can we see checks for that?
You can open
They're not written on Barnegat Township's accounts. Are they? You would know.
Let's say this, Barnegat Township's not paying the utilities.
Well, then who is?
Well, process of elimination, if Barnegat Township's not paying, I assume Barnegat Fire would be.
Oh, you assume, you don't know. What if they turn off the electric out there and you can't get the trucks and the siren doesn't work?
It will not happen. They pay their utilities, they're a responsible agency. Please don't.
I'm not saying they're not responsible.
Well,
I know a lot of members. Mr. Grant, I have more respect for that man than anybody in this room. And I'm sure he's going to take care of things. But the way it was done, to have a meeting here, lock a building, and treat people like criminals, that's what you did.
We protected our assets.
How'd you protect assets? What'd you think, they were going to go in there like a bunch of animals and destroy things?
We protected our assets. I'd rather answer 1,000 questions on why we locked the building and protected our assets.
Because you don't want to answer the question, that's why.
We protect our assets. That's the answer to the question.
You can't answer it. John, ask him why he didn't just pull his trucks out.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
Does-
One at a time.
I have time.
You had your chance.
I have time. Add a couple minutes to my
You
time.
got time.
I'm not cutting you off, sir. I'm trying to give you.
I'd like to know, who owns that building out there?
According to the township attorney, the township of Barnegat.
That's correct.
Really? Okay.
Who paid the mortgage?
Who paid the mortgage on it?
One person at a time, sir. You've had your chance, you've had your chance.
Who paid the mortgage, Mr. Frieden?
Let me stop there. I got a call from an attorney who was talking about potential litigation.
Oh, what did I tell you? We can't answer a question because there's potential litigation.
Well, sir, when I
It's not, there's no litigation right now, is there?
not to my knowledge.
Okay, then let him answer the question.
When an attorney calls me and makes a threat about it,
But there isn't any litigation, so he could answer the question.
tell me when you're finished.
I'm not done because he won't answer the question.
When I get a call from an attorney saying there's potential litigation, I advise my client not to discuss it. I'll discuss it.
Okay,
Discuss it.
who owns the building? Who paid the mortgage?
My legal opinion, the township owns it because there's a clause in the deed that was originally granted that continues to revert it to the township that we can properly exercise.
Who
Really?
paid the mortgage?
Who paid the mortgage?
I have no idea who paid it. That's not relevant.
Pinewood Estates Fire Company did.
You gonna
Thank you, sir.
pay him back?
So, well, I can have more time. Phil had more time
Yes,
and a
sir,
bunch
we
of
have
other.
more time.
Yeah.
It's a good point to stop. The alarm has gone off.
He can have my
You
time.
can have my time.
He can have my time.
That's enough.
Oh, that's enough.
It's enough.
No.
One person at a time.
No, he's not at a
I've
time.
asked 4 times nicely, sir.
You,
One at a time.
You didn't give
Yeah,
us no
let the man
time
act
up
like
Pinewood when you talk.
Sir, one more question. Go ahead.
Why can't you answer my son's question?
I didn't hear
Why?
your son's question. You're here. He's there.
Well, he asked you before, so apparently you weren't paying attention.
Come on. What's the question? Let's go.
He asked you, why was it when they had a meeting with you, did you lie to him and tell him that it was a rumor or what? That there was going to be a consolidation? They asked you, you said no.
I kind of don't.
Because you're not answering, I know, because you're a politician and you hate to be committed to anything.
Let me just say, I found out about the extrication issue on March 12th. Thank you. Anybody else? Going once? Sir? Come on up. Let's wrap this up, guys.
Willie Muller, 3 John Drive. This may sound insignificant to what's been going on, but it's important to the younger people in this township. You were quoted, Mayor, I think about 2 months ago in the paper, that you were going to look into the refurbishing of the skate park. Can you comment on that? Has anything happened?
Yeah, some things have occurred. We are looking at what the costs are going to be and where exactly we want to place the skate park. Excuse me. Due to logistics, we have to make sure where we want to put it before we can go ahead and proceed. Whether we want to do it through Green Acres or through our own funds, what have you. So that's still a process.
In other words, you're saying it won't be where it is
I'm
now?
not saying that. I'm not saying I'm not sure where.
Let me add to that, a skateboard park on the surface may seem like a rather inexpensive project, but it is extremely expensive.
I know that.
Several $100s at least, and that's for the bare minimum. So we're investigating various options. It's not cheap. You have various safety and insurance requirements that you have to satisfy.
Okay.
Depending on the type of park you want, it's a rather expensive project. So we're taking our time, taking a look at it, establishing it in a list of priorities that this township has. Right now, our focus is on the bayfront, making sure that is prepared and ready not only for the summer season, but more long-term solutions to some of the issues that we face now.
But it isn't a dropped issue?
No.
Okay, because a lot of the kids have come to me because they're going to different towns to utilize their skate parks.
I understand.
Okay. And the second item, if I may, is for our administrator. This is an old thing about people putting their garbage out before they should be doing it. And it may sound like an insignificant thing, but it's been going on for years, and there is a directive in town. It's not a law, not a statute, but you're aware of the directive. I've spoken to you many times, and your code enforcer. There's over 8,000 houses in this town. He can't keep up with what's going on. That specifically states you don't put your trash out till after 6:30 the night before pickup.
I remember you bringing up this issue before.
I brought it up
I'll
with
say
the
last year
last
you did.
4 mayors. One is sitting out
Okay,
here.
sir, I'm sure you can imagine that is an extraordinarily difficult thing to police.
It isn't if you would just
You know,
follow.
certainly put that out. It's in the statutes or the regs, code, whatever you want to
I've
call it.
asked Mr. Breeden to do what we did in Somerset County. We had the same problem and it was solved in 2 months. Send a directive to every homeowner in business. That's your warning.
But that's
That's your warning.
Potentially a next one.
It's just a warning like your water thing. That's all it takes.
Okay.
Now your code enforcer can go around and give the summons. Right now, he's doing 2 trips for each. You eliminate 1 trip. The problem was solved in 2 months' time up there. This is ongoing and it's ridiculous. Please do something.
I certainly hope citizens will follow the code enforcement rules and regulations of this town. Sir?
Why don't you shut up for a little while, too? I'm looking out for a lot of people's skin.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. Sir, name, address?
John Merman, 38 Period Drive in Barnegat. A couple of things. I think people already are noticed about the garbage when you send your calendar out every year. There's a list of rules and regulations in it, so they already have it. They really do. First of all, I'd like to personally thank all our volunteers, whether it's the fire department, the first aid department. You do a tremendous job. Sometimes, unfortunately, it's not what was done, but how it was done possibly that gets people upset, and I'm sorry for that. I certainly want to thank the planning board, the town council president and past, and Mr. Breeden for working so hard in that town center designation. It's a tremendous benefit for this town. Unbelievable. Mixed-use design is the way to go. You're not going to get anything in this town without that mixed use, and to have age-restricted apartments is super. It puts no children in the school system. So hopefully, school tax might level out a little or come down a little. But I know that's hard to do. And I'm sorry, the one council person's not here and been gone for about a half an hour.
She's not feeling well.
Sunshine law. It would seem to me, if my facts are right, in January, the town council members vote on an attorney. And you select an attorney, right? And I think that vote was 5-0 for the attorney. Several council people, and I believe Mr. Breeden, asked the attorney a question about the sunshine law. The attorney gave his opinion. If there was a mistake made It was a mistake by the attorney, not by the council people or the mayor. If there was a mistake, I'm not saying there is a mistake, but you people hired somebody, he gave you an opinion, and you followed that opinion. To me, that seems like that was the right thing to do. If I'm correct, you said there's 418 additional affordable housing units we need, or is that our total number?
Round three
Three.
requirement, 418.
So that's additional to what we already have?
Yes.
Because we're a growth district? Okay. Last thing about skate parks, as I've said in the past, as a former mayor, we spent $50,000 on a skate park. It lasted about 6 months, and that was it. Because number one, you really need two types of equipment. One for bikes, and those kids will come in there with bikes. And you need one for skateboards, which are very, very different. You need different type of equipment. You also have to make sure that your insurance will cover certain things. They will tell you they're gonna need pads, they're gonna need helmets, you're gonna put signs up, and unfortunately the kids are gonna take those signs down. So it's a very expensive project, and your insurance is a key issue, and the kids have to worry about safety.
Yeah. Our township engineers were looking at our different options, trying to find the cheaper solutions while still making something durable for bikes and skateboards. I think we wound up with cement.
Yeah, no, it is exactly what you need, because
that's pretty much what
the steel, they'll break the bikes, the runners on bikes will break that, they'll ruin it.
Nailed signs against the wall.
And thank you for all you do.
Thank you. Sir?
Morris Flory for Blue Claw Drive. Thank you for allowing me to speak this evening. I represent the Barnegat Economic Development Committee, or EDC. You should have had in your package this evening the same what I plan to read here. The EDC is required under New Jersey law in order for cities and townships moving forward for development of support from counties and state legislature. The purpose of the economic development is a strategy to set a clear vision and guide for Barnegat's economic growth. Previously, there has been no written strategy. Right now, it's in draft form. The EDC is to advise the Barnegat Township Committee in creating an environment conducive to existing businesses, attracting desirable businesses, and promoting appropriate industries as a key element of the local economy. Our objective is to continue the need to explore ways of improving the economic viability for the township and further pursuant to the ongoing effort to encourage beneficial investment in both existing, new commercial and residential properties within the township of Barnegat. The EDC is a steering committee, providing advice, guidance, and recommendations with options to the township committee for their decision process. Economic development is a competitive challenge against other townships for the right businesses. Barnegat needs to be in the running and finish first. This is why I'm here this evening. With the aforementioned, the EDC has been reviewing the recommendations from the Barnegat Planning Board made before this committee in November 2013. You can see this on YouTube if anybody wants to see it. It is within this framework that the EDC today brings special attention to 2 points. The Township Committee first is the town center and commercial core, and specifically the use of the Elizabeth V. Edwards School, and the second is the appointment of a business advocate. Number 1, the approval and identification of commercial economic development in the town center commercial core by the planning board, and this committee is of vital importance to the township. The ED supports the primary goals, measures, and encourage development from the planning board. Within the designated town center area is the Elizabeth V. Edwards School, built 83 years ago, and if you look it up on the internet, it says it's a paranormal spirit inhabited ghost house. Okay, fine. Yeah. This building has the potential to be the core of the commercial vitalization with serious and concerted effort in restoring the building in a useful way to support the EDC and planning board recommendations. With this in mind, as the building has been of limited use to the Barnegat for a period of time, the EDC asked the committee to consider the use of the building via the Board of Education for the betterment of the township. Examples on how to use the school are moving to the township offices, use of the auditorium for local thespians, etc. With the increased usage of the school, this brings a lot of foot traffic to the downtown core and a positive branding in supporting the core of our town. If this is not acceptable, the EDC requests via the Township Committee to the Board of Education what is the intent, strategy, and timeline for updating and using the building in a way conducive to the town center and commercial core. This is not to single out one particular building, as there are other structures that need substantial repair in the core area. Only has to walk, drive to observe the areas in our township. Number two, the EDC supports the appointment of a Barnegat business advocate. As mentioned in the November 2013 presentation, this advocate could work full-time for the township in focusing on increasing ratables and reducing tax burdens. Now, before Mr. Taylor gets up about increasing his taxes to pay for such, the EDC recommends the township use creative ways of payment, for example, on a commission basis, increasing ratables by X, receiving X compensation. The EDC also encourages the investigation and use of a qualified college intern in supporting such a position. While volunteers meet to support the EDC and other committees once a month for a few hours or less, it is urgently requested that the township bring in such expertise to understanding the financial incentives and support developers and businesses for Barnegat in working directly with the EDC and liaison to other committees. The position is of a critical nature as the EDC is a competitive business against the other communities, and we want to ensure Barnegat is in first place. In conclusion, I would appreciate for the September-October meeting or later this year, the EDC be allowed to make a formal presentation to the township. The EDC meets on the third Thursday at 7:30 in the courthouse. The public is most welcome. We will have 2 vacancies, which was just, I think, approved this evening. If there are volunteers and want to support this important work to the township, they're free to contact me. Since writing this letter, today I did have an opportunity to meet with some members of the school board, and I have an update from a press release that I'd like to read if it's okay, Madam Mayor.
29 seconds, go.
Oh, wow. Whew. Great news from the Barnegat Township School District on Monday, April 28th. The Barnegat School District approved 2014 school budget. The budget supports a 5-year strategic plan, vision with township residents, taxpayers, district staff, etc., etc. The 5 goals are in this area: student achievement, technology, finance, school climate, culture, and community partnerships. District priorities do not end with the supporting education. The Barnegat Board of Education embraces visionary planning and is entertaining several options of the Edward V. School. Barnegat Board of Education members believe there are opportunities that will benefit the community as well. They recognize both the historic value of the school as well as the potential of a renaissance of downtown Barnegat. The Barnegat Board of Education is currently articulating the colleges and universities for possible satellite programs. The potential partnership could positively impact the commercial of our downtown area, bringing business to Barnegat and provide district revenue, which may reduce the tax burden on our community. Details will be released after all options are considered. The board has elected the choice both for the district and community of Barnegat.
Thank you, Mr. Flory. Anybody else? We good for that motion? We have a second?
Second.
No. All right, ordinance 2014-13, first reading.
Ordinance authorizing payment of property known and designated as Block 134, Lot 2, for a total purchase price of $1,200 to Mr. and Mrs. Navarro in accordance with provisions of the NJSA 48:12-13.
Motion to introduce resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Billy?
Yes.
Committeeman Moreno?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor LaSalla?
Yes.
Mayor McKay?
Yes. Ordinance 2014-14, first reading. It's fine.
Ordinance amending
Just
and
the license
supplementing
plates,
chapter 9B entitled Economic Development.
Motion to introduce resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Billy?
Yes.
Committeeman Moreno?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor LaSalla?
Yes.
Mayor McKay?
Yes. Ordinance 2014-15, first reading.
Ordinance amending and supplementing chapter 55-57 of the Township Land Use Code entitled SIA Neighborhood Commercial Zone.
Motion to introduce.
Second?
Second.
All right, roll call.
Committeeman Billy?
Yes.
Committeeman Moreno?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor LaSalla?
Yes.
Mayor McKay?
Yes. Ordinance 2014-16, first reading.
Ordinance establishing certain salaries of certain officers and employees and repealing any and all other ordinances inconsistent herewith.
Motion to introduce ordinance?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Billy?
Yes.
Committeeman Moreno?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Lucella.
Yes.
Mayor McCain.
Yes, approval of the minutes for April 7th, 2014 regular meeting. Motion to approve minutes?
Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Billy.
Yes.
Committeeman Morano.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Lucella.
Yes.
Mayor McCain.
Yes, formal action agenda, resolution 2014-232.
Resolution authorizing payment of bill lists in the amount of $12,401,196.66.
Motion to adopt resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Committeeman Billy.
Yes.
Committeeman Morano.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Lucella.
Yes.
Mayor McCain.
Yes, resolution 2014-233.
Resolution authorizing temporary emergency appropriations for the current fund.
Motion to adopt resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Billy.
Yes.
Committeeman Morano.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Lucella.
Yes.
Mayor McCain.
Yes, resolution 2014-234.
Resolution authorizing emergency temporary appropriations for the water sewer fund.
Motion to adopt resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Billy.
Yes.
Committeeman Morano.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Lucella.
Yes.
Mayor McCain.
Yes, consent agenda.
The below listed items are considered to be routine by the Township of Barnegat and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no formal discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, this item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
Motion to adopt consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Committeeman Billy.
Yes.
Committeeman Morano.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Lucella.
Yes.
Mayor McCain.
Yes, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right, everybody, aye?
Aye.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Aye,
Have a
you.
good night.